Hello everyone and welcome back to Learn with Hamna. In today's video, we're going to look at how to use OBS Studio. Whether you're looking to record videos, stream live, or create content for YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, OBS is one of the best free tools you can use. I'm going to walk you through all the basics you need to know to get up and running, from understanding interface, setting up scenes, sources, and managing your audio. So without wasting any time, let's jump straight in. If you haven't already installed OBS Studio, simply head to obsproject.com to download it. That's the official website for OBS Studio, and I have added a link for it in the description as well. Once you're on the website, you'll notice the downloads button for different operating systems. OBS is widely available for Windows, Mac, and Linux. Simply click on the operating system you're using and the download will begin. Once the download is complete, go ahead and run the installer. OBS will install onto your computer in just a few clicks. Now, when you open OBS for the very first time, you might notice that it asks you if you want to run a auto configuration wizard. This is a very handy tool for beginners because it helps you quickly set up OBS based on your system capabilities and your intended use, whether you're recording or doing live streams. But just in case you forgot doing that or are unsure about anything, then you can go ahead and run the auto configuration again. Simply click on the Tools option on the top and select Run Auto Configuration Wizard. Here you'll have the option to optimize OBS for either streaming, recording, or both. If you're planning to go for live streaming, then choose Optimize for Streaming option, or vice versa. Once you've selected your option, OBS will take a few moments to analyze your system's performance, looking at things like your CPU, GPU, and internet speed. This helps OBS suggest the best settings for you. After it's done, OBS will apply these recommended settings. You can always fine-tune them later, but this will give you a solid starting point. And don't worry if this seems too technical for you for now. Just follow the recommendations now by clicking Apply Settings, and that's it. OBS is now configured and ready to use. Now that OBS is installed and set up, let's take a look at the interface. First, we will look and understand the main sections of the OBS, and then we will create scenes and record our demo video. If you would like to move forward with the recording part directly, then you can go ahead and do that. When you first open OBS, you'll notice a few different sections that might seem a little overwhelming, but once you get a hang of it, it's pretty interesting. So, starting from the top, you have the menu bar with options like File, Edit, View, and so on. You won't really need to get too deep into them just yet because the important parts are right in front of us. On the left hand side, you'll see the preview window. This area shows what is currently being captured and what your audience will see. It's like the live monitor for everything you're recording or streaming. Directly below that is the scenes panel. This is where you'll manage your different scenes, which are essentially a collection of elements like your webcam, screen, or images that you want to capture during your stream or recording. Think of each scene as a setup that you can quickly switch between, almost like flipping between different camera angles in a TV show. Next to the scenes, you'll see the source panel. Sources are what actually create your scenes. For instance, if you want to record your screen, then you will add your source as a display capture, and a specific scene will capture a specific area of your display. At the bottom of the screen is the audio mixer, which is where you'll control the sound levels for each audio source you add. Whether it's your microphone, desktop audio, or any other sound you want to include, OBS automatically picks up your default mic and desktop sound. If you're using headphones, then you can connect that as well. Next to audio, we have the scenes transition section. This is where you can add all the cool effects when switching between the scenes. So for example, if you switch from to a webcam scene, then you can add a fade or quick cut effect to make the transition look smooth and cool. Finally, over the right, you see the control panel. This is where all the action happens. From here, you can start or stop recording, begin streaming, and access your settings. You can also switch to studio mode, which lets you preview changes before you go live. But for now, let's move on to setting up our first scene. As I mentioned before, scenes are the core of OBS. They help you organize what you want to show to your audience. So let's go ahead and click on the plus button in the Scenes section to create a new scene. I'll name this one as my main scene since it will be my default setup for capturing my video. Once you've created your scene, it's time to add sources. Click on the plus button in the sources section and you will see a variety of options. For this tutorial, let's start by adding a display capture so we can record what's happening on my screen. Once you select display capture, a new window will appear asking which display you want to capture. If you have multiple monitors, select the one you want to record, and do not worry if you see an infinity mirror effect when OBS records itself. This is normal when you're capturing your screen while running OBS. Next, let's try adding a profile picture as an image. Go back to the sources panel and click on the plus icon again and select image. Choose your image from drop-down menu and it should appear in the preview window. You can resize and move your image to any corner of the screen. I like to keep mine small and place it at the bottom right corner so it doesn't block the main content of my video. One important thing to remember is the order of your sources. The sources listed at the top of the panel are displayed above the ones that listed below them, almost like the layers in Photoshop. So if your image isn't appearing, it's probably because it's hidden behind another source. So make sure the order is correct. Then audio is just another crucial part of OBS, and OBS gives you a lot of control over it. In the audio mixer, you'll see a couple of tracks by default. One for your microphone, labeled as the mic, and one for your desktop audio. OBS automatically detects these inputs, but you can fine-tune them as to suit your needs. To ensure you're using the correct microphone, click the gear icon next to the mic and select Properties. Here you can choose which microphone you want to use. If you have multiple devices connected, you can also adjust the levels using the sliders to make sure that your voice isn't too loud or too quiet. And if you want, you can go a further step ahead and polish your sound by adding filters. Click on the gear icon and select filters. You'll see options like noise suppression and compressor to help reduce the background noises and to make the volume remain consistent if you speak louder or even quieter. These filters are really easy to apply and gives you dramatic improvement in the quality of your recordings. Now let's try recording the screen. Let's click on start recording, and below here you can see the time frame of your recording. Now if you need to add something during your recording, then you do not need to end the recording and then restart. Instead, you can simply pause it. Now one scene is recording my entire screen while the other is just focusing on the icons. And you can notice a smooth effect when I am switching between the scenes. That is because I have added a video transition effect, and you can stop recording by clicking on the same button. Now if you notice, when we are screen recording, OBS is recording itself. And if I want to cut that out, I will have to do that later from my editing software. But what if I could make OBS go invisible somehow? Well, that is possible in OBS. For that purpose, we will head to the settings. When you open the settings, for the first thing you can do is the hide option. Now, once I hide, it will be visible for me, but it will not appear in the videos, just like a ghost. Let me unhide it now because I want to show OBS, unlike most times. Well, here in the settings there are a lot more useful options, so let's take a look at a few of them and you can get better at them as well. So firstly, in the general tab you can also customize things like themes and language, but another useful option here is the automatically record while streaming. If you enable this option, OBS will save a local copy of your stream while you're live, which can be very handy if you want to upload it later or make edits. Next, let's head to the stream tab. If you're planning to stream to platforms like Twitch or YouTube, this is where you'll link your OBS to your account. Each platform will provide you with a unique stream key. Simply paste it here and you're good to go once you hit start stream. Now moving on to the output, this is where you actually control the quality of your recording and streams. You can leave the settings by default if you are not sure what to pick, but if you want a higher quality, you can increase the bitrate. Just keep in mind that the higher bitrate requires a better internet connection and more system power. Another cool way to improve your video quality is by adjusting the video resolution. The best standard setting is always 1920x180, which gives you full HD quality, but if you are aiming for even a higher resolution like a 4K, you can always increase it. Just make sure that your computer can handle it. Now there's one more crucial thing that I almost forgot to mention is setting up your hotkeys. So what exactly are hotkeys in OBS? Well, they're basically shortcuts you can assign to different actions in OBS to save time. For example, I've set 0 as my hotkey to start recording. That way, I don't need to switch back to OBS window each time I want to start recording. You can also set hotkeys to switch between scenes while recording, which is super useful. Let me show you how. For scene 1, let's set the hotkey as Alt plus Z, and to switch it to scene 2, I'll set as Alt X. Now, when I'm recording, I can just press those keys to switch between scenes effortlessly. And to make the transition even smoother, I've added a swipe effect to change the scene, which makes everything look so cool and professional. And guys, this is a wrap. You are now equipped with all the basics to start recording or streaming using OBS Studio. Don't forget to subscribe to Learn with Hamna for more tutorials, and if you found this one helpful, give it a thumbs up. Happy recording, and I'll see you in the next one.